Hey everyone, what's up? Hope you're having a blast. If you're still trying to win the Champions Challenge, which I recently have on, so you kind of get that emoji, which is, kind of cool to have at the end of the day. Soon, the Champions Challenge will come again with Archer Queen. You'll be able to try the Archer Queen launch party, and you'll be able to get a shot at trying to get that free Archer Queen emoji. Most probably, yeah, there is right there at the end of the 6 wins. You'll be able to get that. The challenge at the end of the day is not hard, in my opinion, if you play regularly. But still, I mean, some of you might be able to have a hard time at getting those 3 wins, getting those 6 wins. And if you lose 3, you will not be able to get the emoji. As you know, so I will actually share with you a deck that I used to actually win my emoji. So if you're still struggling, I mean, you have right about 10 more hours to take that shot and get that free emoji. But let me quickly go in and show you guys what I actually used. So I think this was the first game, and then I used a deck and I won like 4 matches straight away with the deck, and then I lost 1, and then I put a Mother Witch in my deck. I think that was the only card that I was struggling with, and so I switched that and I won the last 2 quite easy. So let me quickly show you the deck that I used beforehand. So that deck was actually not bad. The only deficiency in the deck, I would say, was Mother Witch. Facing her and then not adding my own was a problem, so I added her up. So you actually need, let me quickly discuss with you the deck first that you actually have to build. So you got to make sure you stop all the hog riders that come your way, giants and stuff like that. So for that you need to put in an inferno tower. You can actually put the goblin thing. Let me quickly see, what do you call it? So I just want to see the name of the thing. Goblin drill. That is what they call it, goblin drill. So you can put goblin drill. It's something that is not mandatory, but it's up to you if you want to put the goblin drill in there. But at the end of the day, if you do, it's going to help you a lot. But the important things in the deck that you cannot miss is an inferno tower for all the hog riders, for all the giants, and probably stuff like that. You need to put in a log for sure, because log is what will counter the goblin barrel. Because people come up with goblin barrels, if you put a zap, they still get a hit or 2 on your tower, so you need to make sure you put a log for that. That is a compulsory. So log and inferno tower has to be in the deck. Last but not the least, you can put another defense building like a cannon, and that should actually do the drill, because sometimes you have giants and stuff like that to counter, and then you still have a hog rider in the deck that you have to counter, so you can put a cheap cannon for that too. So cannon, log, and inferno tower is a must in the deck. And then you have the giant skeleton, the skeleton king, that cannot be switched. So 4 other cards you can actually go for whatever you want. If you want a heavy push, you can put a heavy tank in there, and some light cards in there as well. If you are trying to go with a cheap deck and go hard at your opponent, you can put in something like I have actually put a goblin drill. I've put the Royale recruits, and the key is to go split. So you want to split your deck into 2. Make sure your opponent gets confused at the end of the day, and he has to basically make a decision whether to go left or right, and then that will make him make a mistake, and then you can just take one of the towers and defend at the end of the day. This is the key, because you're gonna have the Archer challenge coming up quick too, the Archer Queen challenge, so this deck can actually work for that too, and probably another hero challenge after that. So this deck is going to work for all the challenges. All you have to do is make sure you have an Inferno Tower, you have a cannon, and you have the giant... Sorry, you have a cannon and an Inferno Tower and a log. That is a must. So with that, you need the drill. If you want the Royal Recruits, I would go for that. And I'll show you how I split my deck and actually confused every single opponent that I faced. So let's quickly get into that. So to start the attack, what you want to do is, if you have the Royal Recruits, always put them at the back and split your attack and see what your opponent has. So if he has stuff and he's going to put that in the right lane, I'll go on the left and let's hack him real quick. As you can see, he's got a Valkyrie. And I quickly put my archers there. I'm going to use my log boss probably, and I did. That was a good value. Now watch the recruits on the left, dealing all that damage, and all I have to do is defend that one single wizard on the right, and I did that. That's it. And now look at the damage that I was able to do. By splitting my attack into two, I was able to take his left tower easily, and you can see I'm just trying to put some extra pressure on him, and he has to use Elixir to counter that. He cannot just ignore that, and there you go. I simply counter his giant king with skeleton king with mine, and that's it. That neutralizes the push straight away. And then I do the same. Just do the same thing. Split your attack into two. I actually put a laugh emoji, I think. Oh no, it was him. It was him. And that surprised me. I mean, like, wow. He's actually struggling and he's laughing. Anyway, split the attack into two again. And keep doing the same thing. And then just watch what he does next. He puts the elite drops down. Cannon to defend that. Easy defending. No need to worry about anything. And then now he has to put more elixir to defend against the recruits on the right, and he does. And then when I see that, as soon as I see that, I actually put my drill in the left lane and finish that tower off. And as you can see, he cannot basically keep his momentum up. He constantly is putting elixir, and he's wasting that elixir. And he has to, he's got no option. He has to defend his tower. And as you can see, easy, and I put my queen down. And the purpose is to make sure he keeps putting elixir, keeps wasting it, and not letting him build that big push that he's trying to. Inferno Tower to deal with stuff like that. Look at that. Easy defending, and I still have a few recruits to actually counter him up. There we go. We're gonna go hard at him. And then I actually threw my drill as well then. And then he has 10 seconds and he can't do anything about it. The point is to use the recruits and just keep splitting your attack into two. Now I'm going to show you the next battle, and this was actually the toughest that I actually faced. I still won the game at the end of the day, but that was the point when I was like, should I use this deck? I'm kind of having issues with this deck. And this is the Hog Rider deck that I was talking about, putting that Inferno and Cannon in there to make sure you actually take the Hog Riders down. So I go with my Princess like always, but he has a baller, and that is not good for me, because the recruits can actually be taken down easily with the baller. So at this point I was like, he actually has every single guard that he needs. There you go, Hog Rider, and we're just going to use an Inferno Tower to defend against that. Nice and easy. So we used a cannon, but we had an Inferno Tower to ensure we still was able to take down Hog Riders with it. I actually had no idea that he had a Hog Rider, but still I had another defensive building to take Hog Riders down. There we go. And he also has an Inferno Dragon, which is kind of not a problem for me, but still, you know, let's just quickly go. He had a Mega Knight as well, which I was able to take down easily with the Skeleton King. Moving on, he uses a bowler, and I was able to take just chip his left tower a little bit, but I think things went past. Let me just quickly go back and see what he did there. I think he used his Mega Knight, and I think the reason was because my Inferno Tower was just right on the blink. of disappearing there, and he did use this Mega Knight. There we go. And I had no option, so I had to use the cannon though. That's not a bad push. Look at that, you've got a Hog Rider there, and there's nothing I can do about it. My Inferno is gone, my cannon is gone. So he was able to chip my tower there. And Bowler is the problem, as I'm telling you. That Bowler was the only problem in the deck. I was able to distract that Bowler for just a little bit, but can't do anything about that. That was a bad archer placement, and now he has so many troops to counter me up. And he's actually splitting his attack now to confuse me up, so I used my cannon to defend that. And pretty much nothing I could do about it, but I was actually able to make sure that he doesn't take my tower down. But as you can see, I was facing problems trying to split my attack, so I was like, there's no point, I can do anything. But so I used my drill on the left, and I think I should have used my log, but I didn't. And he has a big push coming up, but I think there's nothing he can do. Again, Inferno to defend against the Hog Rider. So at this moment, he's actually doing way better than me. But let's see what I do. I think I was able to take one of his towers down, but not exactly sure how. But he uses the Bowler, and that is the huge problem. The recruits against the Bowler is a bad option. And as you can see, he will easily take my recruits down. I used my drill there, and I think the drill was actually what... Yeah, the drill was able to do tons of damage over there. Look at that, look at that. The drill was the key on the left. And I think at this point, there was nothing he could do. And I kept logging his tower down, most probably. And there you go, another drill and another log. And another drill. And I think one more log. Took his tower down. There you go. So a tough game, a tough second game to be honest. And look how bad he was. So a tough second game, but we were able to actually win that one as well. Then another victory. This guy had a Giant as well in the deck. But as I was talking about, having an Inferno Tower has its perk. And he had a building himself, so I used my Princess, but I mean, he has to put something in that other lane to take the Princess down. So he actually decides to chill. And I think I did the same. And then he used his Giant, and I put my cannon down to that Giant real quick. But I think there's nothing he can do because we have so many skeletons. We've got a Princess on the right lane as well. And there we go. And look at the drill going at his tower. This is why you should have the drill in the deck. Because when your opponent is going to run out of elixir, he's going to make those silly mistakes. So this guy had a Mother Witch as well, and the guy after this probably had a Mother Witch as well. So I actually faced some problems against the Mother Witches, so I decided to put them in my deck too. But there you go, tons of damage to his left tower, nothing you can do about it. I put my guards down, and the key is to constantly keep the pressure on him. And then I used my drill straight away. As you can see, I used my drill straight away. I might use the Inferno Tower here, and as you can see, I did, to take that giant down. My own Skeleton King to counter that. And that should be it. There you go. Easy peasy. I think I probably had him. Used my recruits again and kept the game going. Was able to actually redirect him to the cannon. And nothing you could do about it. That is it. So this deck actually works, guys. And the key is to splitting your damage into both towers and making your opponent make mistakes. I was able to win again, with the same deck one more game. So I would say try this deck out, and then if it doesn't work out, if you lose a game, I'll show you one single change that you can do and win the rest of the games. But start with this deck. This is not a bad deck at all. I mean, 4 wins out of 4 is not bad, because you might be able to play this deck way better than me. So yeah, I mean, you might not actually need to make that last single change. So here I did make a single mistake using my Goblin Drill. I should have used my cannon to defend against the Prince, and that actually costed me a lot. Look at the damage the Wizard did on my right tower. That was so that was the one single mistake I actually made. Moving on, he poisoned my recruits on the right, and I was able to look at the mistake that he made. This is what you do when you have when you just cannot handle the split damage technique. You do make mistakes like these. He actually tornadoed my recruits and the princes, and I was able to do so much damage on his left tower. And again, the key is to make sure he does not load up elixir. Archers to defend against the drill that he puts, and now he has to deal with my drill as well. And he poisons that. Now he has basically no elixir to do anything. He has to actually defend against the archers as well, and look what he does. He keeps putting elixir and he keeps running out of it. And he has to use more. I have literally 9 elixir at this point, and he has like 2. I don't think he can do anything about that. Moving on, he uses his drill to keep my attack on his right tower. I was able to take down his tower, and nothing he could do about it. So I will quickly show you the game that I lost with this deck. That was the 5th game. And I think the mistake that I made was not realizing that I should use a Night Witch in my deck as well. I quickly show you what mistakes I made. I used my princess to chip him down. He had a lock for that. I put my drill straight away, and he has a mini P.E.K.K.A as well. So I chipped him a little bit, but look at this push. There's nothing I can do about this push right here. It is a huge push. And the key is the Night Witch, the Mother Witch. And nothing I can do about it. I think I accepted my defeat right there. I did put my drill. Was able to take his Dart Goblin and did a little bit of damage to his left tower. Put my recruits down. He had an Inferno Tower himself, which was great. And I put my drill down. I was able to deal tons of damage to his left tower. And there we go. Boom. Left tower down. So this game came to a point where I actually took his tower down too. So yeah, I think I did defend it against this push. I put my cannon down to redirect his Hard Rider. And there we go. Nothing too crazy. So, but the point at the end of the day is that Mother Witch. Accumulating all that, all those piglets and doing damage to my tower is the problem. I tried taking S in front of our town, but I think I did make a mistake. I should have just chilled for a bit. At this point again, the more recruits he takes down, the more piglets he produces. There we go, a big push. I think he did pretty much good. So that Inferno Tower again, as I told you guys, is the key. You need to use an Inferno Tower when you face the other challenges. When you actually fight them, you need to make sure you use an Inferno Tower. There we go, another Inferno Tower from my side. A cannon to actually make him... But that mini P.E.K.K.A was able to actually hit my tower once. That was my bad. And I think at the end of the day, I just couldn't take his tower down. A huge push from me, all those recruits, and pressure on. But look at the piglets. Look at the amount of piglets he's producing with the Mother Witch. And I think that was the problem at the end of the game. The Mother Witch. And the Hog Rider was able to take my tower down. So this is where I actually decided to put my own Mother Witch. So watch this, guys. Last 2 games I won, I actually put the Mother Witch in my deck instead of the Princess. And that actually was the key. So you can use the second deck or you can use the first one. It's up to you. I would recommend using the first one. And then if you lose a game like me, you can switch to the other one. Same thing, we used our recruits, splitting our damage. He uses the Witch, and on the right he uses the Skeleton King. We used our own Skeleton King to counter his King down. And look, the recruits are so good. I was able to actually make sure one of them survives. Used my own Witch to defend against his. And I think I used my Inferno Tower for that Mega Knight. I did. And I think that was the right key. Because the Mega Knight, if you leave the Mega Knight alone, guys, it's going to deal tons of damage to your tower. So you need to make sure you always have something for a Mega Knight. And this is why we have the lock. Make sure we counter against all those Goblin Barrels. And I think he did use his Hog Rider. And this is why we have the cannon for that. Straight away we use a cannon. It does not matter if you put the cannon in the center, it should be able to take the tower, take the Hog Rider down with the tower. Again, we use our recruits. He uses the same thing, the same technique. Guys, this time I did something different. I actually used my Mother Witch on the left this time to make sure I produce my own piglets. And he's got a real good push on the left. And the key is to take his Mega Knight down as soon as we can, and I was able to. And no need to do anything about that. And that was a really good use of the lock. Made sure we actually took down the Witch and the skeletons. The goblins, my bad. Same thing, we just keep splitting our damage down, and once we reach the overtime, we should be able to take one of the towers. That is the key. Same thing, we use the Mother Witch on the left, and use our own Skeleton King on the right. And I'm going to put my Inferno Tower really soon. There we go. And watch how I did not use my lock. Even though I did make a huge mistake on the left tower, I didn't use my lock because I knew he had the Goblin Barrel. So at this point, I am actually losing the game, technically. But I knew as soon as I hit the overtime, I should be able to do it. Inferno Tower for that Mega Knight. We can use our own Skeleton King. Produce some skeletons to distract the Witch. And use the drill as soon as I knew I was in his path. I used my drill. Even though that didn't do anything at all, but now we have such a huge push. We have 2 Mother Witches backed by his Skeleton King. And look at the piglets. Look at the amount of damage that piglets are doing. So I would actually recommend you use a Mother Witch instead of the Princess. When heaps more value. Inferno Tower for that, lock for the goblins. Easy peasy, no worries at all. He uses his Hog Rider at the back for some reason, but I have a cannon for that. And I think at this point he cannot do anything about it. There we go, use the drill. And he puts his Mega Knight in the wrong lane, in the wrong side. And that was the key. Last but not the least, last game, I'll quickly show you how I was able to actually win this one. Same thing, we split the recruits at the back. And we actually used the drill straight away. And the key was to put the drill next to the princess so we can take the princess down as well. Inferno Tower to deal as much damage as we can to the king. And the king was kind of unlucky that my Inferno Tower went for him instead of the skeletons. And there we go. At this point straight away, all I do is chill, wait for my recruits to come back. And had nothing in my deck for that, so I decided to go with my skeleton king. And it's not that bad at all, just 4 elixir to get a skeleton king is not a bad deal. Block for the princess, drill to deal damage to this other tower. And look at that, look at the amount of damage those goblins are dealing. So guys, when your opponent uses a miner, no need to actually worry about that. He's actually using his 3 elixir for nothing, just for a bit of damage. And instead of actually countering the miner, you can actually build a huge push and finish his tower off straight away. Same thing, using the splitting up the recruits. I actually made a mistake on the left tower, not actually distracting that ghost. There we go, we used the drill again. And look at that, one of the recruits was able to make it to the tower. That should be it. Took his tower down. Nothing he can do about it, 26 seconds to go. And he does have a princess, which is a problem, but that is alright. We used our cannon. At this point, all I have to do is make sure he does not reach my tower. And he actually kind of almost took my tower down. Look at that. Look at that. And there we go. 154. A lot from him at the end of the day. So guys, this is it. This is the deck that you can use to win not only the giant, not only the Skeleton King launch party challenge, but you have the Archer Queen launch party coming soon. So use this deck to win the Archer Queen party too, and it should work. The key is to split your recruits, push both lanes at the same time, defend with the Inferno Tower and the cannon, and you should be golden. And I'll be putting the next challenge as well, the Archer Queen one. But for now, if you haven't played the Skeleton King yet, just use this deck and go for it. 10 hours left, and I'll see you in the next one. Do subscribe to the channel, as I will be putting the Archer Queen video soon, so you can actually use the same deck that I will play with, and hopefully I think this deck will work for you as well. So up till then, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.